Welcome to the deep dives. Okay, so today we're zooming in on someone who, well, he doesn't just star in Bollywood films. He really defines superstardom, not just in India, but way beyond.
Hmm.
And we've got this fantastic biographical source to guide us, kind of unpacking the layers of his pretty extraordinary journey.
Exactly. And what's really remarkable, I think, is how one person can be so many things,
Yeah.
actor, producer, host, and wield such enormous influence on screen, sure, but also just in the culture itself.
Yeah.
This deep dive should give you a really solid grasp of why they call him the Bai of Bollywood.
Right, Pi. And that figure is Abdul Rashid Salman Khan, born December 27, 1965 in Indore, Madhya Pradesh. Like you
Yeah.
said, actor, producer, singer, TV host, philanthropist, the list goes on. And that term Pi, maybe we should quickly explain that for listeners. It means brother, yes, but in this context, it's much more, isn't it? It's got this weight, like protective, powerful, almost a godfather vibe, connecting directly with the masses. It's quite unique.
Definitely unique. So our mission really is to pull out the key insights from his life story, give you a balanced view of how he became this cultural icon, dealing with huge success, but also, the complexities that come with living life under such a microscope.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. His roots. Salman Khan comes from a really prominent family. His father, Salim Khan, not just a screenwriter, but a legend, wrote some of the absolute classics of Hindi cinema.
Absolutely. Salim Khan, part of the legendary Salim Javed duo, that's a serious foundation to come from.
Huge. His mother is Sushila Charak, later known as Salma Khan, and he has siblings, Arbaz Khan, Sohail Khan, both actors and producers too, and two sisters, Alvira Khan Agnihotri and his adopted sister, Arpita Khan Sharma. It's a real film family.
And you have to think, growing up in that environment with a father who literally crafted narratives for a living, it must give you an almost innate understanding of storytelling of the film world. It surely influenced his path right from the start.
Yeah, you'd think so. And here's something really interesting about his early life, his education. He went to St. Stanislaus High School in Bandra, Mumbai. Good school. Then attended St. Xavier's College, also in Mumbai. But, and this is the fascinating part, he left. Didn't complete his degree. Decided to go all in on acting instead. I mean, imagine that choice. Leaving college to chase this dream takes some serious conviction, doesn't it?
It really does. That kind of singular focus right then. It speaks volumes about his ambition, his determination, clearly a bet that paid off spectacularly in the long run.
So from that bold move, his film career starts rolling. And it unfolds in these really distinct phases. His debut was actually a supporting role, Bili Ho to Icy, 1988. Small part.
Right, not the lead.
No, but then came Main Pure Kia in 1989. And boom, that was it, breakthrough. It wasn't just a hit, it was a massive blockbuster. It instantly made him the romantic hero for a whole generation.
And that role, that specific image he created there, the sort of endearing, slightly naughty, but good-hearted romantic lead, it just clicked. It wasn't just about looks, it was about connection. He found a way to seem relatable, almost like the boy next door, but also a hero. That really set the template.
Totally. And that momentum just builds through the early 90s. Films like Baghi, A Rebel for Love in 90, Patharki Fool, Sanam Bawafa in 91. They kept solidifying that image. But then the real seismic shift, I think, was Hum Apke Hain Kun in 1994.
Oh, absolutely.
Unbelievable success. One of the highest grossing Indian films ever at that point. It was everywhere. And he also showed he could handle multi-starters like Karn Arjun in 95 with Shah Rukh Khan, another huge hit.
Right. And if you look at the bigger picture here, this period, say mid-90s, he becomes incredibly bankable, especially in these big family dramas, these romantic comedies. He kind of perfected that formula, didn't he? Delivering these films that the whole family could watch together that built this massive, loyal audience base.
Definitely. But, careers have ups and downs, even for someone like him. The early 2000s were a bit more mixed, right? There were hits like Ternam, which was a different kind of intense role for him, and Musi Shadi Karogi, no entry, fun films, but also some that didn't quite land commercially. It was a period of, let's say, fluctuation.
It was. And that raises a really interesting question. How does a star navigate that when things aren't just hit after hit after hit?
Exactly. And then comes the pivot. 2009, Wanted.
Wanted, yes.
This film felt different. It wasn't just another movie. It felt like a reinvention. Suddenly, he's this hardcore, gritty, almost unapologetic action hero. A completely new persona, really.
A total reimagining. And it wasn't just about doing action scenes. It was the attitude, the style. Wanted tapped into something raw. It redefined what a mass hero could be in that era. And his ability to pull off that shift, that adaptability, It was crucial. Very few stars managed that kind of fundamental image change so successfully.
Yeah, it was like flicking a switch. And from 2010 onwards, it's just, wow, the blockbuster era. An unbelievable streak of massive hits. It starts with Dabangg in 2010.
Chilbul Pandey.
Iconic. Instantly iconic. That character, the rogue cop with his own rules, his own style, it just exploded. The film was a phenomenon.
And Dabangg really set a new template, didn't it? That mix of action, comedy swag, memorable dialogues. It became his signature for the next decade, really. Audiences couldn't get enough.
They really couldn't.
Yeah.
And he just kept delivering. Ready and Bodyguard in 2011, both huge. Ek Thai Tiger in 2012, launching another massive franchise. Then Kick in 2014, Bajrangi Bhaijaan in 2015, which was interesting, showed a softer side alongside the action.
A very different kind of film for him, Bajrangi Bhaijaan. Huge emotional connect.
Huge. Then Sultan in 2016, playing a wrestler. Tiger Zinda High in 2017, the sequel. He even came back with Tiger 3 recently in 2023. I mean, that whole run from romantic lead through that dip, then reinventing as an action hero and becoming this like undisputed king of the Eid release, the guaranteed blockbuster, it's quite a trajectory.
It really is. It shows this incredible knack for understanding the audience pulse, for evolving. He didn't just hang on to stardom. He kept reshaping it, kept finding what works. That's rare longevity at that level.
So that's the movie side. But his influence, it goes way beyond the multiplex, doesn't it? Television, for instance.
Oh, absolutely. Big Boss.
Big Boss. He's been hosting that since season 4 back in 2010. And his presence, it's become synonymous with the show. Huge ratings driver. He also hosted 10K Dub before that, came back to it later too.
And what's fascinating about the TZ hosting, I think, is how it let him connect directly. It wasn't mediated through a character. It was him talking to the audience week after week. That built a different kind of relationship, maybe even deeper, more personal. He became a household fixture, not just a movie star.
Yeah, it makes him feel more accessible, maybe.
Yeah.
And then there's the other major piece, his philanthropy, the Being Human Foundation.
Right, founded in 2007.
And it does significant work, primarily in healthcare and education for underprivileged communities. But the way it's funded is pretty unique, too. The foundation sells merchandise, clothes, watches, other accessories under the Being Human brand.
Exactly. And the profits from those sales go directly to the charitable work. It's not just about writing checks. It's this integrated model. It turns his brand itself into a vehicle for the foundation. And it allows his fans, his audience, to kind of participate in that mission by buying the products. It's a clever way to build engagement around the charity work.
It definitely adds another dimension to his whole public persona, not just about the movies or the TV shows.
For sure. It's a big part of the Baha'i image, perhaps. That element of giving back.
Could be. Now, any deep dive like this has to look at, well, the recognition, the awards, but also the controversies. They're part of the story, too. Award-wise, he's got 2 Filmfare Awards, including one for Best Supporting Actor for Kuch Hoda Hai. He's also won National Film Awards as a producer for films like Chiller Party and Bajrangi Bhaijaan, and countless other industry awards recognizing his overall contribution.
And those formal awards, they mark industry recognition, right? But it's interesting to think about how they stack up, how they contribute to his overall legacy, especially when you consider, well, the other headline.
Right. Okay, let's unpack this a bit. Because his career has definitely been marked by some significant controversies. They are a part of his public narrative. You can't ignore them.
And it's really important, I think, to approach these factually, understand them as part of the public record, because they absolutely shape how people perceive such a huge public figure.
So there are 2 major legal cases. First, the 1998 Black Buck poaching case. This relates to an incident during a film shoot. He was convicted in 2018, sentenced to 5 years, but then later granted bail. The legal proceedings have been ongoing for years.
It was a very long-running case, yes.
And second, the 2002 hit-and-run case in Mumbai. A vehicle owned by him was involved in an accident where one person died and others were injured. After years of legal battles, going through different courts, he was ultimately acquitted by the Bombay High Court in 2015.
Again, years in the legal system, generating immense media attention.
Absolutely. And beyond the legal issues, his personal life, particularly his high-profile relationships like with actresses Aishwarya Rai and Katrina Kaif, have always been under intense media scrutiny, constant headlines. These events, the legal cases especially, they've undeniably created this tension, haven't they, between the on-screen hero and the off-screen controversy.
They have. It's a duality that's always present in discussions about him.
And just to be clear, our goal here is just to lay out the facts as presented in the sources. We're reporting what happened, the legal outcomes as recorded. It's up to you, the listener, to form your own understanding.
Precisely. It's about providing the full picture.
Okay, so pulling it all together,
Yeah.
well, what a journey, right? Young actor butts on himself, becomes a romantic sensation, navigates a tricky period, reinvents himself as an action megastar, achieves unprecedented box office dominance, all while hosting massive TV shows and running a major charity. It's quite the mix.
It really is. And if you connect all those dots, Salman Khan's story becomes this fascinating case study in, well, modern superstardom. The immense highs, the challenges, the constant reinvention. His legacy isn't simple. It's this really complex tapestry, huge commercial success, genuine philanthropic impact, but also shattered by these controversies and intense public scrutiny.
Yeah. So when you consider an icon like him, you're not just looking at box office numbers or awards. You're seeing a cultural phenomenon, a brand, a charity, and this public figure who's lived almost his entire adult life in the spotlight. It makes you think, doesn't it, about how all of these different pieces, the work, the charity, the personal life, the controversies fit together to create the overall image and impact of someone so famous.
And maybe also how much that unique connection he fosters, that bi persona, the style, the directness through TV, how much that cements his place, sometimes maybe even beyond just the films themselves.
That's a great point. So here's a final thought for you to chew on. How does the public weigh these things? How much does the perception of his charity work or his consistent ability to deliver blockbusters balance against the controversies when shaping the long-term legacy of someone known as the pie of Bollywood?
It's a complex equation, isn't it? No easy answer.
Definitely not. We hope this deep dive gave you some real food for thought.